are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sports Bash, and that is presented by TicketBash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is being brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage. When you go down there, you make sure you mention our show, Sports Bash, and you'll get a free dessert with your meal. We're also being sponsored by the Falcone Law Firm. If you need to speak to an attorney, call them at 631-607-4LA-LAW. That's 631-607-4529. And, of course, by the Marty Lyons Foundation, all our great friends there doing so many tremendous things. And that is the official charity of Sports Bash Media. You could visit them online at themartylyonsfoundation.org. Make sure you look at the preferred sponsors, because when you use those preferred sponsors, a percentage of every transaction goes back to the charity. Also, this show is being brought to you by Collaborate Studios, our good friend Chris there, and they are a content marketing production facility. And for more information about that, you can call them anytime at 516-509-8277. We want to welcome in our listeners on 103.9 on your FM dial, as well everyone that's streaming. I'm Vinny Tickets, and I'm joined by affectionately known to me as simply the Wiz. Good morning, Wiz.
Hey, Vinny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How was your 4th of July?
Fine. Went to a family's house. They had a whole entire block party with a literal Ferris wheel and everything else, like a virtual golfing, and a whole Mr. Softy ice cream truck, and everything was free there.
Oh, that's great. So Wiz is filling in for for Peter Schwartz today. And the number to call into the show today, we'll be doing a giveaway later in the show. The number to call in is 631-451-1039. We'll take your call about the Yankees, the Mets, anything else going on in sports. And today we will have a free ticket Friday. Later on in the show, we'll be giving away 2 Met tickets. Mets are really coming back here. Right in that, right on the cusp of being a playoff team, right? So we'll be giving away a pair of tickets at Citi Field for the July 12th Mets game. We'll give the details after the break. And right now it's time for the Sports Bash Flash, and it's being brought to you by the Embassy Diner. The Embassy Diner is located in Bethpage, and it's where every single customer that comes in is considered family. The Embassy Diner is located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. And the nice thing about it, when you mention Sports Bash, you'll get a free dessert from our friend Gus down at the diner. So let's get right into it. We have the New York Yankees, not our real Yankees of old, but the Yankees lost to the Reds 8-4 in the Bronx yesterday. And the Reds, for the first time this year, for a 3-game series, we know what happened. They did lose a 2-game series. But for the first time this year, the New York Yankees were swept. Little bit of good news, little bit of sunshine for the Yankees. That sweet left-hand swing by Ben Rice. Ben Rice went yard, had his first Major League home run. Of course, we throw Juan Soto in there. And he had a home run. Austin Wells had a home run. And the Yankees will begin a series with the Red Sox this evening, tonight at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees will have Nestor Cortez on the mound, who has faced the Red Sox, I think it's exactly 10 times. And the good news is he hasn't lost a game yet. He had 8 no decisions, and he is 2-0 right now. The Yankees are, in their last 10 games, little bit of a slide. We might have a little bit of concern here. Last 10 games, they're 2-8. Last 20 games, they're 6-14. And the Yankees, however, I think, Wiz, we said the Yankees are favored tonight, right?
They are favored tonight against the Red Sox, who are also trying to vie for a playoff spot this year.
Yes. So with that in mind, we know that there's a lot of, you can't watch a sporting event anymore without seeing all of these gambling sites and, whether it be FanDuel or any one of the other ones. Caesars has a game. And we have a very special caller on the line today, someone who's in the industry, very familiar with the casino game. And we want to welcome in Scott Nicholson, who is the vice president of Imagine This. Scott is the vice president for Imagine This, deals with over 300 casinos throughout the United States. Scott, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here, Vinny. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Scott. So, Scott, when we talk about these sports, I know you're a sport guy yourself. I'm sure you watch. I know your kids are some great athletes. But when you watch these games and you see these sports books, they've kind of taken this gambling, they've taken it out of the underbelly of the world right now, and they've brought it into corporate America. With the casinos that you're dealing with, I know there's hundreds of casinos you're dealing with in the United States. What's your take on sports books and the direction that this gambling world is going into?
Yeah, I know it's a great question, Vinny. The gambling world, or let's call it the casino world, is explosive right now. They've really tapped into a large market of individuals across the country whose personal preferences in social areas in life, they're not going to ball games, they're not going to the movies, they're not doing all those traditional types of social outlets. Their life is centered around the casinos because the casinos offer all of the entertainment, all of the meals, all of the excitement and the thrills that they're looking for. So they can obtain all of these types of enlightened or fulfilling personal events going to one location. And on top of that, have the chance to win money. And what the casinos really do is they create an environment, or they create incentives and very exciting reasons to get these people to not just come to the property 1 or 2 times a month. They want the guests to come to the property 3, 4, 5, 6 times a month, and that's the whole goal for the casino, especially in what I do. Imagine This is North America's largest casino marketing firm, and we execute and run all of the free gift giveaways at all of these 350 casinos, and they're called continuity programs. The guests get one free gift every week, and the whole goal of that is to get the guests that are only coming 1 or 2 times a month to come back to the property 3, 4, 5 times a month to get the gift. They know that every time that a guest will get to the property, that they're going to spend $150, $200, $300. So they're willing to give away a $15 or a $20 gift in order to get that guest back to the property multiple times.
So when you go to these casinos, do you have, I know you're always on the road, it seems every time we talk, Scott's in Washington, he's in Vegas, he's in Texas, he's all over the country. And obviously, the company Imagine This, I do know that you guys have your own supply chain management, which, by the way, Scott, that is my son's major. So we're going to have to talk about that in the future.
Absolutely.
He's a supply chain management major down at Tennessee. But when you go to these casinos, does Scott have a favorite casino that he likes to go to?
You know what? I think one of the most beautiful in the country, believe it or not, I'd have to say is Mohegan Sun, Connecticut. From an aesthetic perspective, it is one of the most beautiful that I've been to. I would say maybe second to that is the largest casino in the United States, or one of the top 3 in the United States. It's called Yamava Casino, which is out in California. And these facilities are not just a one brick and mortar building. They look like malls. They have spas, and they have the whole sporting event area. They have their theaters, and they have their stadiums for events. And the amount of money that they invest into these facilities is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So they spare no expense to make these places look like palaces. They look like castles. So when guests come to these places, there's a level of not just excitement, but a level of being proud that they're able to come into a facility that is so beautiful and so gorgeous, and that is going to treat them so wonderful by giving them free gifts and free hotels, because the casinos truly care about their guests.
That's great. So, Scott,
yeah.
We do have Scott here from Imagine This. Scott, keep up all the great work. On the other side of the break, we're going to cover some Mets. That's Scott from Imagine This, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships. Very important, Scott, that we both realize that by doing business with these casinos, it's taken the underbelly or the traditional way that people were gambling. It gives them a safer, more responsible way to gamble. And we appreciate you having you on the show. I know you have a great company there. We wish you the best of luck, and enjoy your holiday weekend, Scott.
Thank you, Vinny. Thanks for asking me to be on. Wonderful opportunity.
You got it, Scott. Guys, tune in. Stay on the break. During the break, we will stay live with our live feed. We're going to cover the Mets. We're going to cover the hot dog eating contest after the break, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethlehem.
Okay, for our live streaming watchers, and we are streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on Instagram, we're streaming on Facebook, and we stay through the break with our live streaming. And we need to really, after the break today, Wiz, we really need to talk about these New York Yankees, because this is, in my opinion, this is going to be a very pivotal series going into this weekend, and I think it could be a statement maker. If we could come out and play some great baseball, right? We know there's a rivalry. It happens to be one of the biggest rivalries in professional sports. How important, Wiz, do you think it is for the Yankees to show up this weekend against a division rival and make a statement with the Red Sox?
Absolutely huge, especially as the Red Sox have been a lot better recently. They're currently the third wild card spot in the American League, and the Yankees need to make sure they can beat them or at least get 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, because if not, the Orioles are young and they're loaded and they're really, really good. If the Yankees want to have a chance to win the AL East at all and have a better chance of making the World Series, they need to win against the Red Sox. This is a must win for them, or else it might just be the Orioles division to lose.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. I think the Yankees are a little bit behind the Orioles now, and we're going to bring back in our live radio audience right now, and away we go. All right, everybody, let's talk about the New York Mets coming out of the break. The New York Mets, we know we have two different factions here on the show. We have the Yankee faction. We have the Mets faction with Wiz. So the Mets yesterday, they lost to the Nationals. That's a real heartbreaker when you lose a game 1-0. But if you're a major league team, you can't go into these games and think that you're going to win a game by not scoring any runs. It's never happened in any sport ever. Right. So you can't go into a game and think that you're going to come out victorious. The Mets did lose to the Nationals 1-0 yesterday on a pinch hit home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Mets starter Jose Quintana gets the no decision of the game, even though he threw 7 shutout innings. It was a great outing, only gave up 4 hits. And the Mets will open up a series with the Pirates tonight in Pittsburgh. Mets' last 10 games are 6-4, and I think in their last 20, what did we say? They were about 15,
14-6.
14-6.
It's the reverse of the Yankees right now.
There you go. You don't have to rub that in, Wiz.
No need to rub them. Just stating facts.
Yes, I agree. So the Mets are playing some good baseball. Let's go over to the hot dog eating contest. I know that's one of Peter's favorite conversations. I know that Peter falls in with the general public there. And the poll question for the week was about the hot dog eating contest. I actually, for the first time ever, I watched the hot dog eating contest and really don't get it. I just don't get it.
I do.
You get it, huh? Okay, there you go.
I get it completely.
Did you have any hot dogs yesterday?
No need to. I didn't have any hot dogs. I watched enough already. And, it's not the same without Joey Chestnut, honestly, because he's almost an American staple at this point.
Yes. So the winner of the hot dog eating contest was Patrick Bertoletti, and he was the winner of the contest yesterday, and he was able to get down 58 hot dogs in 10 minutes. A very gruesome sight. And for me personally, as I watched it, I said, man, I never, ever, ever want to do something like that. But it is a professional sport. The announcers really get into it and they talk about it. I almost feel it kind of has like a WWE kind of feel to it, where they're making, they bring the excitement, because watching a guy stuff his face for 10 minutes straight really didn't do too much for me. Our poll for the week, this was very interesting. Our poll for the week, now he did 58 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Our poll for the week was, how many hot dogs do you think you could eat? So in 10 minutes, what was your answer, Wiz?
Less than 5. I can't shove that many down my throat.
Yeah. And so you go with the general public. The poll this week was 66% of the people said they could eat between 0 and 5 hot dogs, and 29% said in 10 minutes they could eat between 5 and 9 hot dogs. That's 95% of the people. 95% will have less than 10 hot dogs. 95% of them. This guy is doing 6 times that amount, right? So it's absolutely crazy. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll be giving away 2 Mets tickets for the July 12th Mets game. Those will be 2 tickets. And basically what we're doing next is, it is Free Ticket Friday, and we will take the 4th caller on the line. That is the 4th caller to call in today. And the number to call into is 631-451-1039. And if you're the 4th caller, you'll go to see the amazing Mets over at Citi Field. And Wednesday night, I went to Yankee Stadium, driving by Citi Field, and I said, man, I wish this is where Yankee Stadium was. I really do. We had a great time at the stadium. Unfortunately, the Yankees lost 3-2. We did get to see a tremendous fireworks show. It was really great, and we did that in celebration of my wife's birthday, which was yesterday, my niece and nephew's birthday, which is today, my good friend Chris's daughter, Gianna, whose birthday was that night. So we did see a great fireworks show. We are taking the 4th caller. I see the phone lines are lighting up. Our good friend behind the glass, Sebastiano, will take the 4th caller and let us know who that winner is. And basically what we're going to do next is we're going to turn this over to Wiz, and he's going to give us this day in sports history. So go ahead, Wiz.
Okay, Vinny. Well, on this day in 1947, Larry Doby made his debut for the Cleveland Indians, becoming the first ever African-American to play in the American League. Now, everyone talks about Jackie Robinson. He was number 1. But who was number 2? The answer was Larry Doby, and he was a phenomenal player. He was a 7-time All-Star in the majors, as well as an All-Star in the Negro Leagues for the New York Eagles, and was also a 2-time home run leader, and he made the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1998 via the Veterans Committee. And you could argue he dealt with it even harder than Robinson did, because he came straight from the Negro Leagues to the majors, and he was a second baseman in the Negro Leagues, but had to go to center field in the majors. And
who did he play for when he came into the majors?
I just said the Cleveland Indians.
Cleveland Indians. Okay.
He was also the second ever American League manager when he managed the Chicago White Sox in the late 70s, and he also worked for some basketball. He was a part of the executive aboard for the New Jersey Nets. So yeah, a legendary career for the late great Larry Doby.
There you go. Great job, Wiz. Now it's what we want to talk about. Today's question, our poll question for the day, is the following. What is the most important thing? And we could discuss this a little bit, Wiz, because it's actually some great points. What is the single most important thing that the Yankees can do right now as they continue to slump? So we have a few choices here. Fire Aaron Boone? Nah. Fire Brian Cashman?
No way.
Make some trades?
Yes.
Forget it. The season's over.
You already have a winning season right now, like the Yankees have had my entire life. You're currently the first wild card with only 2.5 games out of first place, and you want to finish the season already? That's loser mentality. You don't want to do that. You got to make some trades. The season's still active. You got to make the playoffs. You need to make some trades. You got to beef up your roster.
Yeah. So where do you think they need to beef up the most?
Well, I'd say, a bit of their bullpen could use a little bit of help. I would also say their infield also. And you need some better guys that could hit a lot better. I mean, I haven't looked at it as much as I did the Mets, but just in general, you need to have the firepower that, like I said, the Orioles have, or even the Guardians have also. And don't forget, the rival Astros are right on their tail. They're only 2.5 back of their division, so you might have to watch out for them in the playoffs too.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So go online and enter that poll. We'll be looking for the answers. We'll announce the results on Monday. Coming up on Monday, we have a very, very special show coming up. It's a Sports Bash doubleheader. First, our regular show from 9 to 9:30, which you could always tune in here, 103.9, and wherever you stream your live video will be streaming live as well. That's Monday morning at 9 a.m. And then what we'll also be doing is later on in the day, we're going to have a very special show for you. We'll be coming to you live from the Marty Lyons annual golf outing, and that will be streaming at 5 p.m. Our video team, Chris and his fantastic team, will be covering that. We expect to have a lot of celebrities. We expect to get a lot of coverage for that. So we will have a double dip on Monday. There'll be a show at 9 o'clock, and then, of course, we'll do a show later on in the day. That'll be streaming live. We did that last week. We did that for the St. Jude's charity organization and Big Daddy's event, and we just had a tremendous list of people that were on that show. So don't forget, on Monday, it's 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Also, we would like to thank all of our sponsors. Also on July 11th, we'll be joined by former WCW president Eric Bischoff, and that'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee. We're sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, the Falcone Law Firm, Marty Lyons Foundation. From my buddy Wiz right here, and Peter, we miss you, and our entire crew, I'm Vinny Tickets, saying thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Congratulations, Glenn, for winning those Mets tickets. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay happy and healthy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.